Hello there, it's Jennifer McCreath, Monday night, July 16th, 2012. Hi, Dan. Meow. How you doing, Danny? You have anything to say? You were meowing to get on camera. Now that the camera's on you, ha 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 ha. Cats, you gotta love them. Wow, turning on the camera today to talk a little bit about St. John's Pride launch. Very unique day in this city. I think the first time ever. 3 flag-raising events. One by the Memorial University LGBT folks on their campus. One by the official St. John's Pride Incorporated at City Hall. And for the first time ever, as far as I'm aware, in the history of this province, a trans-specific flag event was booked. Start off with the City Hall event. I was fortunate enough to attend the event. I wasn't able to stay for all of the speakers, but I heard, I think, the first 6. I was initially very upset when I was invited to speak, and then at the last minute I was taken off the agenda in favor of adding supposedly more politicians. And that actually led to me creating the trans flag event. But the highlight, I think, for me at this City Hall flag raising was the fact that there was a trans-identified person step up to the microphone who was not named Jennifer McCreath to deliver a speech about trans issues here in our province. Perrin Squires, a young trans man who I've recently become acquainted with, delivered an amazing, passionate speech that covered all the basics. Everything from the difference between sexual orientation, gender identity, talking about the challenges of the binary gender and binary sex and how it's a gray area and it's a paradigm, talking about pansexuality, challenges with access to trans health, challenges with basic health needs, doctors not being comfortable treating trans patients, and of course human rights. Wonderful, great work, Perrin. So proud of you. I actually started crying. It was probably the most beautiful speech I've ever heard in my life. I'd also like to give credit to Robin Noseworthy, one of the, ironically enough, new board members. She joined St. John's Pride's board one day after I left and was among the 3 new people. She delivered an excellent address and talked about some of her personal experiences. I find personal stories really dig at people's heart. It makes you realize that these issues you hear about all the time and read about, there are real people. And good job, Robin. Unfortunately, there are several other speeches that kind of made my blood boil and made my stomach cringe. It's no secret I've been critical of a lot of gay, lesbian-led organizations who use the acronym LGBT. And it just seemed one after another, they got up there and talked about all this great work they do, threw in a token comment about their trans work and how they felt they were doing a good job on that. One comment that really got to me was somebody thanking the Human Rights Commission for their work. It was actually Jerry Rogers, provincial NDP member of the provincial house. The Human Rights Commission here is not an independent body. It is a puppet, shall we say, of the Minister of Justice. The Commission reports to the Minister, not the House. Our Human Rights Act does not have gender identity and gender expression, and they recently declined to hear a case regarding potential discrimination in healthcare funding for a trans person, me. I do not believe they deserve thanks. They put out a press release talking about their support for our community, and I wrote them back and tweeted them publicly saying, you better take that T out, because we're not there. We're not there yet. These folks just don't get it. And big wake-up call for the trans community. The LGBs are quite happy to throw the T on there as long as we're sitting in the back seat. But God forbid they let us actually hold the steering wheel. Look at St. John's Pride Incorporated. 20 years of pride in the city. All of a sudden we've got an incorporated body and everyone's bitching and complaining about it. Well, the moment the trans person on the board leaves, all of a sudden it's hunky-dory. It's fine. Maybe it's not so much a bad idea. Maybe it's they just don't like a trans person at the top. so many LGBT organizations all over North America. Trans population is underrepresented. They're not on the boards. They're not on the payrolls. The gays and lesbians are speaking for us. They're working for us. They're telling us what we want and need. They're even censoring us and keeping us out. St. John's Pride Incorporated said that their goal, one of their goals, was to be inclusive of the community and not only promote their own pride events, but every pride event. Well, I called your bluff, and you failed the test. I booked this trans pride event, and you refused to recognize that it was happening. You didn't attend, and that tells me really all I really need to know about the state, I guess, of that organization and their views on trans people. So let's talk a little bit about my event, booked at the last minute. With hardly any publicity. I managed not only to get 7 people to show up, I got one of which was a media, Telegram newspaper was there to cover the story, and as I said in my press release, it's an opportunity to fill in the gaps, introduce the Pride community and society as a whole to trans women, me, and trans issues. And I was able to talk in a little bit more detail about the implications of not having health care and human rights, and tell a very personal story about all the money that I've had to spend in losing jobs, losing apartments. We had trans people, we had cis people, we had heterosexuals, a bit of everything. We had a trans person attend another trans person that I was not familiar with. It's great to know that there are other trans people in this city and province. I knew they were there, but now they're finally coming out to public events, and that is really cool. After we kind of waved this lovely flag, we had kind of a casual roundtable chat, and it was just really good to have a focused, informal chat on trans issues in the province, and I think it was beneficial for everyone that was there. I have no idea if there'll be a trans pride event next year. I hope there is. I've made it quite clear that I've done all I can for advocacy, and I'm going to be focusing my life on other things outside of the LGB and T communities, but I definitely will be supportive and consider myself a friend and an ally, and I really hope the trans community here in Newfoundland steps up to the plate and carries that torch that I'm passing over. Yeah, so kind of sad, I guess, in a way for me. Being the trans person and the trans advocate has been my life for 5 years. I'm ready to move on, though. I need to just become Jennifer. I need to be Jennifer the runner, Jennifer the animal lover, Jennifer the aspiring politician, Jennifer the so many other things I want to do with my life person, and I'm not being taken seriously. As long as this trans label is on me, I'm pretty much done my transition. I've done everything that I can afford to do. I'm just burnt out as well. I'm sick and tired of being crapped on, not only by gay and lesbians in St. John's, but by the trans communities. There's so many diverse, transgender, transsexual, transvestite, the infighting. It gets to the point where we're not able to get things done, and it's time for me to move on. But I went out on a very high note. I had a great time today. I'm very happy. Big thank you to Sarah Downey, someone I consider a friend, and in some cases we've been foes, but someone I know is passionate about trans issues in this province and has demonstrated that in so many ways. A lovely, wonderful person, Sarah Downey. Thank you very much for being at the event today. It really meant a lot to me, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so there we are. Jennifer McCreath's report on a historic first event and perhaps a last event for me, and so glad that the newspaper came out to cover it. It'll be very interesting to see what they do with that in the paper tomorrow. But yeah, on we go. Pride Week. I'm not up to celebrating. It's been a rough year for me, and losing that human rights thing really hurt, and I really don't feel like celebrating. I feel like bitching and complaining, which is sadly what we still have to do. We're still fighting for rights, basic rights that we don't have. But yeah, I'm hoping to get out to at least some of the Pride events and mend some fences and meet some new people, and just sort of take things from there. Anyway, thanks for watching my video, and have a great night, everyone.